Hello everyone and welcome back into this new update review video. I know, I actually generated a fresh new world and the world has selected us this jungle to be the stage of our of this video. Unfortunately, it was quite a very poor choice since my skin is green and the leaves are also very similarly green, so don't get too confused. Today we are reviewing the latest 1.21.6 game drop, the Chase the Skies update, which has added a bunch of new features which we had already covered in the previous, I had recorded a couple of snapshots updates and the source of that, so it's going to be a bit of a repetition of what I already said in those videos, and I'll be recycling also some footage from them. So let's start first thing first with the newest edition, the Happy Ghast. Everything concerning the Happy Ghast starts with finding this. Oh, sorry. This is the dried ghast block, which can be found into the nether, specifically in source and valleys, or alternatively traded by piglins. Once you get a hold of this block, you have just to place it down into water and wait. You can see that we have also some new advancements. Stay hydrated for what concerns Happy Ghasts. Once you have your Happy Ghast plopped down into water, it will go through a couple of phases before actually spawning a new Happy Ghast. You can see that it starts with this very dehydrated version, sad little face, and then gets progressively more whiter, more hydrated, and happier. And once it reaches the fourth stage, it will then summon a new baby Happy Ghast, which is this weird little creature. It makes this very awkward baby sounds, but it's pretty cute, let's say. Weird but cute. Yes, that's going to be my tagline for this mob. And once it grows up, it becomes a full-fledged Happy Ghast, an adult one. You can see that it's currently watching me because I'm luring it with a snowball. So basically you can feed the baby Happy Ghasts snowballs to hasten their coming of age, but they are not breedable. So you always, if you want to summon a new Happy Ghast, you will always have to go through the rehydration process. The Happy Ghast, when it has no harness on it, can also be lured using a harness. Once you click on it, it gets equipped. You can see that it is wearing this very weird, say, aviator sort of hat, clothing. It's called a harness in, let's say, formal game language. And this is basically like a saddle that allows the player to ride the mob itself. This is the recipe of the harness: 3 leather, 2 pieces of glass, and a piece of wool. So it's very early game as a thing. So you can, as soon as you find a Soul Sand Valley, dried ghast blocks are very easy to come by. So it could be also a very early mode of transport, especially if you are setting your base in a very hard to reach area. I'm thinking of, for example, the Shattered Savannah, which is all sheer drop cliffs. And there we have it. So basically you can see also that it, when mounting, when a player mounts the Happy Ghast, its goggles get pulled down and it is now ready to fly. It is following where I'm pointing towards, where I'm looking towards actually. So it's a very effective way to ease travel, and I can make it move by basically using WASD keys, and using the space also makes it go higher. For making it go lower, you cannot press shift because you will unmount. You just have to look downwards and press forward. And you will go down, 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 down. This is quite the major addition because it allows for a very cool thing. Using one other of the additional updates of this game drop, which is leashes. So basically what happened is that Mojang reworked how do leads work. You can leash two mobs together, and in the very peculiar case of the Happy Ghast, you can use this 2x2 leash configuration for leashing entities to the Happy Ghast. So there are some entities that cannot be carried using a boat, but instead can be leashed to a Happy Ghast and carried all over the world using it. Beware that the Happy Ghast is quite slow, so if you want to move entities, it's still more convenient to move them by boat if possible, but having a Happy Ghast to, let's say, carry a sniffer, I don't know why you would do that. It's a good alternative to have. Much more interestingly, you can carry boats with the 2x2 leash configuration. So this means you can have either a boat with a chest carried, or a boat with a chest and an entity in it carried with you. Concerning the behavior of the Happy Ghast, it will mill around and follow. It will mill around and naturally follow any player within a certain radius. More interestingly, if you drop off your Happy Ghast, you can see that I am now standing on it like it was a full block, and the gas keeps floating. It doesn't float down unless I jump off of it. You can see that if I jumped off, it starts milling around again. The Happy Ghast has space for 4 players onto his saddle, which are going to be put on the 4 edges of the square, which is the topmost side of the head of the Happy Ghast. Speaking of multiplayer, the next addition is the player locator bar. So basically what we have here above the hotbar is the player locator bar. You can see that we have a small dot on this bar, which is basically where my player is currently standing. You can hide from this locator bar by simply shifting, and you won't be detected, so you can still sneak up to your friends and jump scare them with a creeper head out of the window. Alternatively, you can use Potion of Invisibility to just hide yourself both visually but also from the locator bar. It's a very useful thing, especially if you are playing into a multiplayer world without, let's say, maps or waypoints or, I don't know, to just, without having to pass yourselves the coordinates like you usually do in this case. The last big addition to the game is the new music that you should already have been hearing. I have been using it as a background music for quite a while. But a new disc has been introduced, Tears, which has this very nice whitey texture. A disc that can be obtained by very weirdly, let's say, killing a ghast with its own fireball. So basically the old Return to Sender achievement, which was one, let's say, of the epic ones, at least inside Java, is now a further motive to try and accomplish it, because you get a free music disc from it, and quite a nice song. Apart from the new music added to the game, the menu, actually the music menu, has been a bit tweaked. You can see that now on the bottommost part we have a few new options that show up. We have a music frequency button, so basically you can change how frequent the music is playing, and a show music toast. So basically when a music track is being played inside the game, a toast will show up telling you what track that music, that particular song is. Very interesting, especially for crediting, let's say, for giving credit to the composers and to the various music. If you want to find that peculiar song within Minecraft. So as a, let's say, navigated player, I already do know how the various songs are called, and there is always the wiki for that. But for a new player, I believe that it is a very interesting addition, since you no longer require to go around and scrape the internet for information. Moving on to the, let's say, lesser updates. First of all, saddles are now craftable. You can see here that we have this very convenient crafter placed down. And here we have the recipe of the saddle. 3 leathers and 1 iron ingot. Yet again, very early game recipes. It's very useful to have them, since you want to use horses for quickly moving around and finding the perfect place where to settle. Also, a new achievement has been added, apart from the one from the Ghasts we have seen previously. It is when you transplant a creaking heart onto a pale oak log, you get the heart transplanter achievement, or advancement, sorry. Depends on which version you're currently playing. If you want to know more about creaking hearts and creaking hearts mechanics, I am still undergoing, let's say, the publishing process of the whole all related episodes. Last week I have published actually let's say an extensive coverage on how creaking hearts works and how farming mechanics works. I wanted to publish a farm tutorial this week, but unfortunately the update came out. Splash potions have been reworked in that it matters no longer if you are splashing in that it makes no longer difference if you are splashing the entity on the head or on the foot, basically the distance from the block where the distance from the position where the entity is standing. Instead, the new, let's say, potions take into account whether you are hitting the hitbox or not and the distance from that. For those who are not aware, this, for example, is my hitbox. You can see that it is a very weird rectangle with this red line and this blue line. Blue line indicates where I'm looking at. The red line is where basically my line of sight, where my eyes should be standing, and the white one is actually the boundary, which is taken into account from potions. Also, projectiles have been reworked in that they now behave a little bit differently when computing, let's say, calculating the trajectory. But it's a bit too technical for this video, so go look at the related snapshot update video if you are curious about that. Did I say that saddles got a crafting recipe? Also, horses got a crafting recipes. No, I'm just kidding. But horses did actually get a bit of a change in that they can now eat carrots. They can be fed carrots now to tame them for both horses, mules, and donkeys. And that's about it for this Minecraft update video. Well, as my usual, I want to give you a bit of my own opinion concerning this update. So some interesting mechanics have been added, definitely, but still feels like it has this bit of je ne sais quoi, if you allow me the posh French, meaning that I still feel it lacking. Like, okay, it's very interesting, the new Happy Ghast mob, but there are still so much more that could be done, and so much more of the Minecraft world that could use some polishing or refurbishment. I'm thinking, for example, to the Stronghold, which is laying bare since it has been conceived the same way. Some new mechanics could be added, some traps perhaps, making use of the latest redstone features. I'm a bit unsure whether this is like this is, in my opinion, not the ideal update. It's a good update, not the best though. I thank you for having followed me until this moment. Leave a like if you enjoyed today's episode and subscribe if you wish to see more like this. And I will be waiting for you as per my usual in the next video. Bye bye! A couple of post-editing notes while you can enjoy the spectacle before your eyes. A very nice screensaver is that I have to apologize first of all because due to always the new setup for recording, this video actually didn't get any sound. You don't hear any of the sounds the Ghasts make, apart from the big Ghast, the sound of which I actually have introduced while editing, so I cheated a little bit, so I'm sorry. And also do remember that all the resources are always in the description. Last but not least, I also have to apologize for my little delay in publishing this very important video, but I wasn't able to finish everything for Sunday, so please do understand, and I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments and wherever if you also have some suggestions. I'm always open to it. We recently reached the 200 subscribers milestone, and I am very thankful to you for this. Thank you, and see you in the next video.